Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So for this romper jacket tutorial, we'll be making use of our lining, our zip, and a black fabric, preferable a stretchy one, very stretchy one, and then our tape, and of course our Ankara fabric. So we're going to go ahead and start taking our measurement, and you can see my fabric is folded into two. So we are just going to go ahead and cut out the back bodies first before cutting out the front bodies. So what you're going to be folding is your largest measurement. That's if your bust is your biggest measurement, you measure your bust measurement divided by 4 plus about 4 inches. So the first thing I marked is my shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then I added ½ inch to add my sleeve. And then for my armhole curve, I'm not going to be going down by my exact armhole measurement. I am adding about 1.5 inches because you don't want it to be fitted at the armhole. So that's the line I am marked. I'm going to go ahead and connect these lines. And once I am done with that, we are going to go ahead and work on our neck. And for the width of my neck, I am marking at 2.5 inches. And then remember, we are marking our back bodies first, so I'm just marking a straight line so that you guys will know where my measurement is starting from. I'm marking out the label on the fabric. So for the width of it, what I marked is for the front neckline, which we are going to connect to our front when we want to cut it out. And for the front neckline, I went down by 3 inches. That's 2.5 inches by 3 inches. So the next thing I did is to mark my shoulder slope, which is at 1 inch, and I'm going to go ahead and connect it to our neckline or our starting point. Once I am done with that, I'm going to go ahead and take my bust measurement divided by 4. But before that, I went ahead to take the length of my romper jacket, and whatever you're going to mark, remember to take out 2 inches for the band that we are supposed to attach. I am sorry if it seems like I'm going all around the place. Working with my baby is such a extra tax, so I am trying as much as I can to keep up. So the first line I marked is not my correct measurement. That's why I have 2 lines there, so don't make a mistake of adding any allowance to yours. That's not an allowance, it's just a mistake that I corrected. Then for my bust measurement, I divided my bust measurement by 4, and I added 4 inches extra allowance, just like I mentioned earlier. Then for my shoulder slope, I am going to go ahead and divide these measurements into 2, make a mark there, and then at that mark I'm going in by ½ inch, and then I'm going to go ahead and connect my curve, and this is for our front armhole. So remember, we are going to be using this to cut out the back bodies. If you haven't subscribed up to this moment, please take 1 minute to hit on the subscribe button, join the growing family, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. So give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. So for the back neckline, I am going down by 2 inches, and I'll go ahead and cut this out. So for the back neckline is 2 inches by 2.5 inches, while the front one is 3 inches by 2.5 inches. So I transferred this pattern to another folded pattern, and I'm going to go use it to cut out my front bodies. And as you can see, I added 2 inches stitching allowance for my zipper, and every other thing is the same except for the zipper and then for the neckline. And I'll cut it open because the front is supposed to be open. So the next thing I'm doing is to get my zipper where my zipper started, and I'll make a notch there at my upper side and then at the lower side, so that by the time I am stitching it, I don't keep measuring to know where my zipper is. So I'll just make small notch there, and then I'll also at the hem side. So we're going to go ahead and cut out our sleeve. And for my sleeve, round sleeve, I am also adding 3 inches extra allowance to it. And then for the length of the sleeve, remember we are going to attach a band there, so you are going to deduct 2 inches from your total measurement and then mark the remaining one. I just added 1 inch stitching allowance to join the up one to these bodies, and then the down one for the for the band. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my sleeve cap length, and for this I'm going down by 4.5 inches. And then for my I'm going in from the end by 4 inches, and I'll go ahead and make a straight line, and then I'll measure that point to get the middle, and we're going to go ahead and connect this. So I connected this from the starting point to that 1/2 inch. As I wanted to connect it, the light went off. Then I'll turn my armhole over and then connect it again, and then I mark the line straight because we're going to gather it at the hem side. I hope you understand this. And I also went ahead to cut out my lining as well. So for the pocket, you're going to go ahead and cut out the pocket. From this side of the pocket, I am going up by 8 inches. 8 inches, and then for the width of it, I am going in by about 6 inches. Then I'll go up from that 6 inches for about 3.5 inches, and I'll do the same thing for the other side. Once I am done with this, I'll go ahead and connect these lines so that you guys can see what I am really talking about. And then I'll go ahead and connect these 2 points in a slanted form. So this is for our pocket, and my fabric is folded into 2, so the pocket is going to the 2 sides, so 1 for each side. So this is our body. I went ahead to cut out all my lining pieces, and yes, we are using our normal lining today. I cut out lining pieces for the sleeve, for the front and the back bodies, and then for my pocket. So we are going to go ahead and open up our back bodies, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring in my front bodies, and we are going to be doing front facing front. We're going to go ahead and stitch on the shoulder line. But before stitching, as we do it, we're going to go ahead and pin this down so that it's easier for us to work with. So once I am done pinning it down, I'll go ahead and make my stitches there, and once I am done, I'll go ahead and attach my sleeve to both sides, and whatever I do to the bodies, I'll do to the lining. Then for our pocket, remember I mentioned cutting out lining for ease. Then I cut out this black fabric we are going to be using to turn the opening of the pocket. So this fabric, as of when I am holding it, is about 2 inches, but I reduced it to be about 1.5 inches. So I folded it into 2. I'm going to go ahead and pin this down. Once I am done pinning this down, I'll bring in my lining and then cover it with it, and I'll go ahead and then stitch it down, and I'll do the same thing for the other pocket. So as we continue with the video, the light went off and I'll have to change the position because we're going to complete this tutorial. So this is the bodies as after I was done stitching it with the armhole, and I also did the same thing for the lining. Don't forget that. The reason why I don't like working with this lining is that it's so light, and in fact it's so light I'm not able to keep up with it. So once we are done, we're going to go ahead and attach our pocket, and don't mind the way I am closing my bodies to show you guys how to attach the pocket. The pocket is supposed to be attached just on the front part of the fabric. So you can see I am done stitching it down. I just turned it to the right side, and I'm going to go ahead and place it. Please don't make mistake of placing it the way I just did. This slanted space is supposed to face your hemming, your seam side. That's the way I placed my own. Just exchange it, take this one, add it to the other side, and then take the right one and put it to the other side. So that slanted place is supposed to be at your seam side. I just hope you understand this and don't make the mistake that I made, because I placed the pocket wrongly as I was rushing the video. So the next thing I did is to stitch at my seam side by 1 inch all the way from my armhole, from my sleeve to my bodice. And I'll do the same thing for my lining. So this is it after I was done stitching it down. We're going to go ahead and measure this hem area. And for mine, I think I have about 46 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and take out 6 inches from the total measurements. And I went ahead to cut out the band, the stretchy fabric for it. So for this Ankara fabric, I have 5 inches for it, and then the width of it is 5 inches as well. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch it down at one side of the stretchy fabric, and I'll do the same thing for the other side of the stretchy fabric. So this is it after stitching it down. We're going to go ahead and continue with our bodies and attach it to our bodies. So what I'm going to do is to fold this over and then place it from the beginning of the of our bodies, and I'll bring in the lining, and I'll do front facing front for the lining and the bodies, and I'll start stitching all the way from that place. Once I get to the stretchy part of the fabric, I'll stretch it out as I stitch it down, so that by the time you are done, it will have this gaudy effect on it. So we're going to go ahead and work on our neckline, and for the neckline I'm going to go ahead and measure this. Remember, you're not measuring your zipper allowance. You're going to start from the zipper allowance and then measure to the other. You're going to start after your zipper allowance and then measure to the other side of the neckline before your zipper allowance. And I think I have about 15.5 inches when I measured. So that's the what we measured here. And for the width of it, I have 3 inches. That's by the time you fold it, you have 1.5 inches. So you see the way I folded the fabric, that's how we are going to fold yours, and we are going to make a little curve at the beginning of it, just like you see me do. But if you want to leave yours straight, please go ahead and do this. But I'll tell you, this one gives it a special effect. So we are going to go ahead and bring in our bodies, and I'll go ahead and fold in this black fabric, still the stretchy fabric, and I'll place it inside in front of my body, starting from the curved area. I'll go ahead and pin this down. So remember, it's starting from the zipper allowance. So once I pin it all the way through, I'll bring the lining and then use it to cover it. Remember, the lining should be front facing front. That the lining should be in front. The front side of the lining should be in front side of the bodies. And I'll stitch it all the way around as well. So this is it after I was done stitching it down. I'm turning it to the right side so that you guys can see it well. So I'm going to go ahead and wear this the lining into the bodies, just like you see me do. Please go ahead and do the same, so that we can work on the sleeve. So the next thing I'm going to do is to fold in the sleeve by 1/2 inch, and then I'll go ahead and stitch it down all the way around. So this is the fabric for our sleeve. The length of it, I have 5 inches, and then the width of it, I have just my round sleeve measurement. So I went ahead to stitch it together to give it a round, and then I folded it the way you saw me do. So we're going to go ahead and stitch it and add it to our sleeve. And for this, please turn your sleeve to the wrong side. Make sure that what you are stitching is front facing front. Is when I went to my machine that I noticed that I was showing you guys the wrong thing. So by the time you stitch it down, this is how you're supposed to keep it before stitching it down, so that by the time you turn it to the right side, you will have this. I hope you understand this. I am sorry for all the mix up. I was really working with my baby and then trying to keep up. So for the zipper area, I don't know how else that is more easy to do this than to just fold it in by that 2 inches, and then I left the upper area for the zip in. So you see the way I am attaching my zip, I am placing it on top of the zipper, and I'll stitch it all the way to the end. When I get to the area that I left unstitched at the 2 area, I'll fold it in, I'll put the zipper into it, and then use it to secure the zipper. I hope you understand it. So towards the end of the video, the light was restored after all the bend over suffering I did today. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and you find value in it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already, turn on your notification bell to be notified each time I upload a new video, and don't forget to share this video to family and friends. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.